Dames, 23 Augustus is julle dag. Kom kuier saam met Radio Kansel by Casa Sosiaal Damadeira in Pretoria en vier vrou wees en vriendskap tydens ons Damesoggend. Luister na die boodskap van sakevrou, skrywer en predikant Liesel Krause-Wit en word bekoor deur ons gaskunstenaar Werner Lou se sang. Ontmoet ook ons MC vir die oggend, Radio Kansel omroeper en nuusleser Gina Lee Bilong. 'n Watertand 3-gang doen ontbyt rond die oggend af. Sien jou daar om 8:30 vir 9 uur. Kaartjies beloop slegs R360 per persoon. Kontak Letsie by 012 334 1284 of Letsie by radiokansel.co.za vir besprekings of besoek ons webblad by radiokansel.co.za.
It is exactly 15 minutes just after 2. Family, just to remind you that Radio Pulpit will be celebrating Women's Day on Friday, 9th August in an exceptional way. Tune in to Radio Pulpit and join Janali Bilong, Esti Geldenes and Ayanda Nenemba to pray for our country from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We call upon all women in South Africa to set time apart, even just for an hour, to pray with us. Let's invite friends and family to pray together for our country. Visit radiopulpit.co.za for the Women's Day prayer. Men are also welcomed to pray.
Passionate about God, passionate about people. Radio Pulpit 657 AM, your daily companion. Download our mobile app or visit radiopulpit.co.za to listen to your favorite station 24 hours a day.
We were listening to another prayer, and this is a prayer for South Africa by Spirit Music featuring Pastor Benjamin Dube, Mati Mamuremi, Takindo, Bongi and Colin, and the title of the song, Reveal Yourself. And the song I played just before the news bulletin is Joy by Vashon Michelle. And now I'm joined by my queen, Nonofo Ramakgolo, the founder of Dimpho Foundation. My queen, how are you?
I'm well, and how are you?
Welcome. I'm so excited to be talking to you. Finally! Woo!
Finally.
And I'm going to welcome you to the Radio Pulpit family. So whenever you're talking to us, you're talking to family. You're not talking to listeners. So you're not even allowed to call them listeners, but you can call them family.
All right, thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be part of the family.
Yebo. My queen, tell us a little bit more about Dimpho Foundation. What is it all about? And how did it come about? Yeah.
Okay, Dimpho Foundation came about because I have a child with cerebral palsy. So seeing that people were not aware of the condition, I decided to start an organization where I will be raising awareness about the condition and also assisting where we can families who have people with cerebral palsy. So that's how it came about. And basically what we do is we raising awareness about the condition. We are teaching people about what cerebral palsy is, and we are also assisting families
affected by cerebral palsy.
Yes.
And is it easy raising a child with cerebral palsy?
Oh my goodness, it's not easy at all. It's not easy at all because I mean we deal with a lot as parents. We deal with the fact that from the time when you are expecting time, you are told that you are pregnant. In your mind, in your heart, you are expecting a healthy baby. You already have plans, especially if it's a girl. You have a plan. You have plans, to wear matchy, and when that hits you, when you come to reality with the fact that everything that you thought about, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to be walking in the mall holding your child's hand. It's really not easy.
And so these are the things that a parent goes through when they're raising a child with cerebral palsy. So In all of this, how does it affect one's health as a parent, be it mentally, be it physically?
I will say physically, because now, remember, well, there are different kinds, but with my child, um, physically, because she cannot walk, she cannot do anything for herself. So at the age of 17, I'm still, I still have to bath her, I still have to feed her, and take her from the bed to her chair, from the chair to the floor. It has affected me to a point where I can't even stand for long because I've got now back issues. And I would say mentally, it if if you don't get help, or if there's nothing that you believe in, then it can mess you up. I remember when my daughter was still, I think she was still 3. I used to pray about her condition, and deep down in my heart, I believe that by 6 she will be walking, and but that 6 came and it passed, and there was no change. And I'm telling you, I used to cry all the time up until, I decided to take this condition and inform people about it. And when I started doing that, I think I also got my healing through the process. Yes, that's when I got my healing. Yes.
Okay, so talking about it also helps.
It really helps.
Expressing and letting others know this is what is happening. How were you met by the community around you, where the children are doing well, they're neurotypical and everything is well with them?
It was not easy. I remember one time I sent my daughter with her cousin to go to the shops. And when they came back, I could tell that Dimpho was not okay. She was trying to communicate something. So I had to ask questions as to what is happening. So when I asked the cousin, she told me that other kids were laughing at her. So I took them, I said, come, let's go. It was a group of children. I was so angry, but when I got to them, I then realized that, no, man, these children is not because they are laughing. They are laughing because they don't understand what this is. So instead of taking my anger on them, I then said to them, do you know why she's like this? So I then started to tell them what the condition was. You can get it anytime. You can be crossing the road, hit by a car, and then you can also have the condition. So I then wrote in the group of the area where I was staying to say, guys, this is what happened. And later on that day, the children came to my place to say, Mama, we came to apologize. We came to apologize to Dimpho, and can you come play with her anytime? Yes. And I said, no, it's okay. And, I was so fulfilled that at least now, touching one day at a time,
one person
at a time, it makes me very happy to say if one person can realize that what this thing is, then I'm very happy. So our community still don't understand this condition. You'll be going to the malls or wherever you're going, and people still stay. And people, sometimes rudely just come to you and say, what's wrong with her? Sometimes without even greeting you, without Yes. So our communities still don't know about this condition.
Sure. And you mentioned something which I picked and like it was highlighted in my brain, that somebody could be hit by a car, they could fall, and they find themselves now diagnosed with cerebral palsy. I was thinking of a young man who, as you were talking, I remembered a story of a young man who finished tertiary last year and got involved in a motorbike accident. And he doesn't know how to talk. He's a new person. It was as though the parents are starting from scratch.
From
They had to do potty training. And now he's got some stiffness in his muscles, and it's just something else. It's a new thing, and the family is trying to get into terms with it. They're just grateful that their children are alive, but many people do not know that that could happen.
It can happen anytime to anyone.
Sure. So is it that person's brain, or is a certain area of a brain would be affected, and then that could happen to them?
Yes, so it comes as a result of brain damage.
Okay.
So yes, sometimes you hear of, let's say a child that is normal. The child can just have a high temperature. They can
Yes.
sit, and
Yes.
the moment the oxygen does not go, if the oxygen does not go to the brain, then if the brain doesn't get the oxygen,
Yeah.
then the child can get CP.
Oxygen deprivation can
Yes,
bring in CP. We
yes,
hear of children who are deprived of oxygen at birth, and they are blue,
yes,
and then they start having, when they are supposed to grow normal like other
yes,
babies, they are different, and they're diagnosed with cerebral palsy.
yes.
And so it has affected you. You can't stand for long now. How about mentally, as a parent raising a teenager? Now a teenager. I know you come a
Yes,
long way. You come a long way.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I had to learn to live. And what do I mean by that? When you have a child, everything then becomes about them. You don't even go out. You don't have time for yourself because now you have the. I remember there was a time where I even wanted to quit my job because I felt like no one can take care of my child the way I can. So everything then becomes about the child. But as time went by, I learned to to take time for myself. And everything that I do, I make sure that I am okay first. Then I can be able to take care of her. And if it means I have to go out with friends, I would do that. If it means I have to go attend a seminar or whatever, I would do that so that when I come back, I'm full, so that I can also pour to her. I've realized that I cannot be able to take care of her when I myself am not okay. So I've learned to make myself okay first, make myself happy and okay first, take care of myself first, so that I can be able to take care of her.
Sure. How do
And
you
that
do
has
it?
helped me.
How did you get to that? Because as you said, many mothers that I've met, many fathers or parents that I've met, they don't have a social life. They don't
Yes.
attend conferences.
Mm.
When you're talking conferences, they're like, we need sleep, because
Yes,
most of them don't even sleep. So
exactly.
if they can spend time at home and rest, I don't even know if the parents really rest when they are at home, or it's just in the mind that because I'm home, I'm resting.
Yeah,
How did
it's
you
just
get?
in the mind.
But how did you
Yeah.
get to that point?
I got to that point because I realized that even when I'm home with her, sometimes I'm a bit depressed. Sometimes I'm short tempered. And then I decided, what? Let me look for help. If maybe let me find a helper,
Okay.
someone who can help me. Let me teach the person how to take care of her, and then one day out of 7 days a week, if I have to go out just on my own with myself, let me be able to do that and not worry that she doesn't have anyone to take care of her.
All right.
then I would do that.
I think one of the reasons why parents with children diagnosed with cerebral palsy or something closer to cerebral palsy have a challenge where when the child is nonverbal,
Hmm.
then when you have somebody, you are not quite sure if I can trust them because my child won't be able to tell me.
Exactly. So obviously,
And it can drive you nuts.
yes. So obviously, with my child, I myself sometimes don't even understand what she's trying to say to me. So I've at least with her, she's able to say yes or no.
Okay.
So sometimes I then ask questions. So that's how most of the time we communicate. And she's able to use her eyes. So most of the time, we have our own little way of of communicating.
Communicating,
Like
yes.
for example, when she's talking about God, she will look up. It means she's talking about either God or prayer, or or when she's hungry. There's a certain type of way
Yes,
she
that she
shows me with her
communicates.
mouth. Yes,
Yes.
when she wants water, and yeah. So sometimes, strange enough, sometimes I understand it from the heart. When I say that, most of the people don't even they don't believe it. But as a mother, sometimes I can just literally understand it from the heart,
Yes.
and I start asking questions, and then she will say yes if that's the truth, and no if I didn't get it right. So we just have a of we just have a way of
So you're
communicating.
at peace when you go out there and you're having your me time because you
Yes,
need that.
it
Um,
is very important.
all right, let's take a break
Yes.
and then come back and talk about the importance of that. You
Okay.
mentioned earlier that sometimes you would feel depressed because you're locked
Mm.
in, you're cooped
Yes.
in, you're not going out, you're not meeting
Yes.
people. So
Mm.
let's come back and talk to family members about how important it is to have that me time, also as well for a parent raising a child with cerebral palsy. We coming back, family. With lifted hands.
Feel the pulse on Heart to Heart with Sibongile Mofokeng on Radio Pulpit.
Now, Radio Pulpit will be celebrating Women's Day on Friday, 9th August in an exceptional way. Tune in to Radio Pulpit and join Janali Bilong, Asti Geldenes and Ayanda Nenemba to pray for our country from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We call upon all women in South Africa to set time apart, even just for an hour, to pray with us. Let's invite friends and family to pray together for our country. Visit radiopulpit.co.za for the Women's Day prayer. Men are also welcomed to pray.
Get in touch with the truth, the light, and the life. 657 AM.
You're on 657 AM. We gave you the sounds of Once More Six here on our knees. And my family, we are just about to say hello to Germany. Johan Els, get ready for 3 o'clock, because at 3 o'clock he'll be with you on something else, and he'll proceed with you from 4 tot 6 uur up Spectrum. And let me take a moment and also greet Frank Jacobs. Hello to you. We love you. Thank you for always choosing us. And we love you too. And yes, my family, right now I am with the founder and CEO of Dimpho Foundation, Miss Nonofo Ramakgolo, and we are talking about Dimpho Foundation, also addressing this important part. How can parents of children diagnosed with cerebral palsy do self-care? And she shared a little bit about where she's from and how Dimpho Foundation came about. And now where she's at with the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. I remember, my queen, you said, if you don't have something that you believe in, it's going to be tough.
Mm.
If you have anything to hold on to, then it's going to be tough. And for you, it's Jesus.
Of course.
And I can just imagine the times and prayers that you have, and the times where you go out and it's just about you and the Lord. So before we went to that song, I asked, how important is self-care for parents raising children with cerebral palsy?
Mm. So, um, even because sometimes when our kids are very heavy, so, if going to a spa for us is not luxury, it's a must have, because these kids are so heavy and they end up affecting your body. So it is really important to take some time off to yourself to go to a spa, go out for coffee alone, read a book or something, so that when you go back to the house, you are ready to attention to this baby and love and
Mm, mm, mm,
yeah.
mm. So it's very important to take time off. Some already mentally they're not doing well.
Mm.
Is it okay if I would even go to see maybe a therapist for that?
Of, of course, myself, I didn't see a therapist, but I prayed a lot.
Mm,
So prayer is one thing that has kept me up until so far, to a point where now it has rubbed off on my daughter. The other day, um, he needs to pray so that God can heal her feet, so that she can walk.
mm,
And I would just go to my prophet and say, God, just do it for her, because she believes so much. Even if it doesn't happen, Lord, it's okay. But from her mind, from her heart to your ears, God,
mhm,
just do it for her. So we're holding on to that faith. We're holding on to that hope that, one day a miracle can happen.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. You hold on even until the end. Um,
Until the end.
I've seen others also now joining support groups. Is there really help in these spaces?
They really do. They really do. Because, when I'm alone, I would see something on my daughter or on my child and think that this is not normal and that just start panicking.
Mm,
But when you are with a group of people who have the same condition, you just ask, guys, this is what I'm seeing.
Mm.
and someone will say, no, I'm experiencing this, and this is what I did, and this, it really helps in the sense that we are there for each other. If my child is not eating this, the other one would say, no, I've tried this, my child was also like this, I've tried this, and it helps. So it's very important to be a group of people who have, who are raising kids like yours, so that you are able to share ideas as to what can I do, because on your own it becomes really.
All right. Hi, Tulani. How are you in Zimbabwe? I also can't wait. I also can't wait. Thank you so much for joining us. Even now, you are highly appreciated. And a family member would like to remain anonymous. Sibongile, ask, please, Nonofo, how do I deal with anger? Because I am comparing my child with my sister's children who are well. My son was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Nonofo?
I think I would say, the best thing that you can do yourself is acceptance. If you can just accept that this is my child, this is what I'm dealing with, then you will just see, even the way you treat your child, the children around, it will be different. The comparison will stop. You will start appreciating your child for who and what they
Mhm.
are.
Um, oh, have you, I don't know how true this is, but I want to ask you, in your experience, that when you
Mhm.
love your child, when you give all that when you pour into your child, everybody else around you starts pouring, starts loving that child, starts
It,
appreciating and accepting that child as soon as you also accept?
that 100%. It becomes so visible. Because, I mean, even the way you start now caring for the child, the way you treat the child, other people will also do the same. Because when you love your child, you start, let's say, going out with them, people seeing that, what, I've been hiding my child. So
Mhm.
it's okay for you also to go take you out sometimes so that you can see how other people
Mm, mm.
live.
Eat with other people as well.
Exactly.
Sure.
But at the same time,
Mm,
I understand that it is not easy.
mhm.
Taking that way to it, they might have like it, they are very heavy.
It,
Having to load it on the car off,
it
it's
takes
not
the whole
easy.
car.
It's not easy. They are so easy as well. Taking them from the house to the car, from the car to the bus, it's also not easy. But trying, because so that they can also feel that I don't only stay, I'm not just in the house, I'm able to go to the shop, see the mom, mama, when she goes to the shower, it's also.
Go to
And
church,
yes,
also to stores. Yeah.
yes. And this organization, what I've read is that a lot of people are keeping their kids
Mm.
in the houses. And
It's in a
when
form.
someone comes,
It's in a way. I think most parents say that they are trying to protect their children from the
yes,
masses.
yes. But now you cannot protect. Well, this is how you cannot protect them by hiding them.
Yeah.
You also must keep them out so that they also do it to say, what, I used to do that with my child. Every time you leave the house, I would prepare her. And I given you see you are on the wheelchair. So normal, I mean, other people are not on wheelchair. So they're going to be surprised at your big, nice car. So, you know what? Don't, don't let that hit you.
Mhm.
Mommy loves you. I will just reassure her of my love for her. Just prepare the child mentally to say, going out, one, two, three can happen
Yeah.
so that we don't become shocked.
All right. Your closing statements, my queen, to families affected by cerebral palsy.
My closing statement, acceptance. I always teach acceptance. Accept your child for who they are.
Mm.
And you will see every other person. You will see but the moment you accept, then you also have peace. And when you have peace, the way you carry, the way you take care of your child, you also be different.
Mm,
Yes.
sure. So, how do we get hold of a Dimpho Foundation if we need to talk to you about something, ask questions, or get engaged with you?
I have a number. That I can.
Yes.
My number is
Mm-hmm.
216
Mm-hmm.
3098,
Mm-hmm.
and we are also on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
under Dimpho Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wow, my queen, thank you so much for talking to us and encouraging parents affected by cerebral palsy. Nobody calls it upon themselves. They
Yes.
find themselves in that space and sometimes they don't know how to swim. But thank you that you have walked this journey, 17 beautiful years, and living through it all with the Lord of our Lord Jesus Christ carrying you. And thank you for sharing and also opening our eyes to these. And I think today somebody is also that on to say, hey, no, I got to change this. I got to add that
Mm,
for my child to make it better. Also work on myself. Also get healing myself and counseling for myself so that I can pour out love all the time when I talk to my child. Thank you so much for engaging with us for the first time, but we are coming back soon. We'll be talking to you again. But thank you
yes.
so much for today. Have yourself a beautiful one and welcome to the Radio Pulpit family.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And yes, my family, that is our beautiful queen, Nonofo Ramakgolo, and she is the founder of Dimpho Foundation. If you'd like to be in contact with her, it is Dimpho Foundation on Facebook, and you can also drop her a message or call her on this number 082 216 3097 3097. I know there are so many families in South Africa that are affected by cerebral palsy. And I think in the coming weeks or so, in the coming weeks, we'll be talking to one who is living with cerebral palsy herself. And but the Lord has been so good. She's doing amazing things. And she has developed a movement called Amazing Abilities. But that is for some time during the weeks and be on the lookout for that. But yeah, for Nonofo, 082 216 3097.